Burkina Faso's interim president, Colonel Ibrahim Traore, has said that election is not a priority for Burkina Faso, but security is. Hello, I am Mahlet Ayele, your host at Connect Africa, bringing you the latest from the continent. Today is September 23. Today is September 30, 2023, exactly 1 year since Ibrahim Traore took power. So Burkina Faso, under the leadership of Colonel Ibrahim Traore, has just turned 1 year today. But the week leading to this 1 year anniversary was not that full of in a celebratory mood. It was rather an eventful week. Now let's look what happens this week day by day, starting from Monday, and why I call it an eventful week. Let's look at on Monday. If you remember, I mean, over the weekend, they have had at the United Nations General Assembly a fiery message through the Prime Minister of Burkina Faso. Of course, that is a message by the President, Colonel Ibrahim Traore, for 38 minutes straight, lashing out on France and then the colonial work of the United Nation. That was just over. And on Monday, we heard that from the country, from Burkina Faso, suspending France media called Jeune Afrique, suspending all their distribution in Burkina Faso after they have published a false propaganda saying that there is tension persists in Burkina Faso army. That was Monday. Now, on Tuesday, there is a rumor that there's an attempt of coup against Ibrahim Traore, and that was all over social media, and activists and advocates who support Ibrahim Traore called all the people who support to come and protect him. And that was late in the evening, where they gathered at the meeting point in the capital in Ouagadougou, showing, their support to Ibrahim Traore. And we have reported to you on a daily basis this. Now, on Wednesday, we have heard that from the government officially releasing a statement that confirming their approving there was an attempt of a coup, but that the government has foiled it. And then on Thursday, again, the government has released a news saying that 4 officers related to who are involved in this coup attempt have been detained, and the others 2 are in Iran, and they are looking for them. Now, on Friday, that means yesterday, it is the eve of 1 year of Burkina Faso under Colonel Ibrahim Traore, and this is the day where actually in a rare nation addressing speech of Burkina Faso, where he was also the leader of Burkina Faso, where he was also interviewed. He said that security is our priority, but not election. But of course, with what happened, in this week alone, we can understand why security could be a priority to the country. And of course, as a leader who have seen 2 coups in the past year, 2 coup d'etats against, actually 3, one in December 2022. There is another one in this month. In this month alone, there were 2. One, I think September 8 or 16. One of the 2 where a coup was attempted against Ibrahim Traore. Now let's hear what he addressed in this rare television nation addressing of his speech, where he also actually said that he will make sure that until the mass of Burkina Faso is represented in the constitution, which he said he will go and ahead, parliamentary, that they will amend the constitution to make sure that the mass of Burkina Faso is represented, or the Burkina base. Now, I'm going to invite you what he said here. Of course, it's in French, but there's a translation. Let's watch it together.
No, there won't be an election concentrating solely on Ouagadougou, Bogoriba, and a few surrounding towns. All Burkinabes must choose their president. Those who are going to apply must be able to go anywhere in Burkina for the people of Burkina. That's it. Go and campaign. So we have to ensure security first. We can't just... Why did we come? We came for security, so that the Burkinabes can live with dignity and peace of mind. And once that's assured, people will be able to move around freely, go where they want, do their campaigning, and then allow all the people of Burkina Faso to choose their president. That's what we want.
He promised that elections would only be held once the security situation permits. When Traoré seized power, he gave himself 2 to 3 months to improve security in Burkina Faso. But 1 year on, extremist attacks still blight the West African nation. However, just a few days prior to 1-year anniversary, the junta said they thwarted a coup attempt. Hundreds of his supporters rallied in the capital on the first anniversary of the coup. At 34, Traoré was the world's youngest leader when he was sworn in as interim president, vowing to win back territory and support a transition leading to elections in July 2024. The rebellions were welcomed by many citizens fed up with worsening insecurity and disillusioned by their government.
On this day, September 29, 2023, we have come out here to the Place de Revolution to show our compassion and encouragement to our authorities and to urge them to move towards a new constitution that will reflect our aspirations. Because we know that the article of this constitution, we inherited it from France, which is our colonizer, which is imperialist. So today, we want a constitution adapted to our realities.
Over 50.
Now, you have heard that what, Ibrahim Traoré, while he's addressing the nation on the eve of the 1-year anniversary under his leadership, said to the nation, and while giving also an interview, and also a bit of what the people said, which is today, who came out to celebrate that 1-year anniversary of Ibrahim Traoré in power, where most of them have expressed their satisfaction so far compared to the previous puppet leadership who was working to the interest of the imperialist or to the colonizer, particularly France and its Western allies. I'm going to invite you later on more to see what the people said today who came out in Ouagadougou in support of this 1 year and to express their satisfaction. But before that, what we do here at Connect Africa is usually, it's not just to come and report news, most of it, and it's a very core of why this platform exists, is to give what's happening in the continent, to give it that African perspective, more so to give it a Pan-African perspective. We are not here to balance a news or this say that, and on the other hand, this is purely a Pan-African platform. So unapologetically, we analyze things from a Pan-African perspective. Now, why, what Ibrahim Traoré said, why we support it, meaning that security should be the priority for African states, not election. especially the system, the elections, that is, with the concept of democracy and all these things, because we have seen how that failed us. We have seen how that was used to bring more puppets to serve the colonizer or the imperialist rather than working for the nation. So I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why we say that, or why kind of support or buy what Ibrahim Traore said. So just to give you a perspective, the election in Burkina Faso is scheduled to be held in July 2024. But of course, they were also pressured, just like Niger was pressured to reinstate its ousted government of Bazoum. They were also, Burkina Faso and Mali were pressured to have election and have a so-called democratically elected leader in the country. So that they have been postponing it now. For Burkina Faso, it's going to be in July 2024. But as you have heard, it's not a priority, he said. And for Niger, they said, the military administration said, to be given 3 years, in which ECOWAS did not agree. But does it matter? What matters is what the people want. If the people want, the leader can stay. I'm not here to encourage coup d'etats, okay, but it's at the end of the day, it should be all about what the people want in the country. If they are satisfied, that's all. Does it matter what we think? Does it matter what the West think? I mean, I don't think so. So now, this is, of course, as I said, ECOWAS and the African Union, this is what they want them to do. But now to look at it, from the Pan-African perspective, so we ask why election is not a priority, but security is. Why? And how is this looked at from African perspective? Well, as you know, a direct war against African people have been the priority of the imperialists, whose total dependence is on colonizing other states and looting the natural resources. And prior to that, this is of course during colonialism period, but also prior to that, enslaving inhumanly the African people. But unfortunately, after slavery and colonialism, after hundreds of years of exploitation, is it over for us? No, it just, they just brought another system called election, democracy, this and that. I mean, people have known how to live, how to have their own king, how to have their own leader, and we didn't have any problem, right? In ancient time. But they're bringing this system again so that the neo-colonization will continue. It's the election, the ideology brought by the imperialists. It's an ideology imposed on Africa that came imported unwillingly, by the way, because it's imposed on African people. It is the election also, they insist to observe, to validate it. Unless they validate it, it's not a free and fair election, as you know. So it's all about their thing. Now, so it just changed the name. Before it was a direct confrontation, there was slavery, there was colonialism. Now there is this election and democracy, which they make sure that they bring what they want, the people, a leader that serves the interest of the colonizer. Now, not only this it's to make themselves rich, but also puppets who are foolish and selfish to go and fight a neighboring country within Africa, to turn brothers against brothers, sisters against sisters, or to be politically correct, what we call proxy war. When one country has a leader that is not bowing to the West, then another country, in every region, how they say they have anchor states in the East Africa, in West Africa, in the Southern Africa, in Central Africa, they have their own anchor state. If you want, I can give you an example. Right now in East Africa, Kenya is the anchor state of the West. In West Africa, they have Nigeria. In the South, they have who I can call. South Africa is more resistant, but there is Zambia, who is there's Zambia. I'm not sure if Zambia is really in SADC. I think it's in the Southern African Development Community, but Zambia is, it's totally surrendered to imperialism. So they have those anchor states. If one country, for example, I can give the example of Ethiopia, where in 2008, 2011, we invaded Somalia. That was purely a proxy war. Doing the dirty job of the United States to fight Somalia, because they know that in Somalia, how they have been embarrassed in 1991 by the Somalis. So they wouldn't dare to go there. And of course, they cannot face anymore the criticism, their soldiers sent and battling there. It's not only an embarrassment, but of course, why do they send their military to die when an African state is ready to send its own people to fight against its own brothers and sisters? So it doesn't stop in looting a specific country and exporting its natural resources to their own country. It also extends to go and to make you fight against your own brothers and sisters. These countries are divided by colonial borders. Okay, they have been the same tribes, they have the same culture, same people, some of them speaking same language, but only divided because of colonialism. So it goes to that extent. Now, so the purpose of imperialism or the imperialist is fundamentally to make sure such system works. If not, if it doesn't work, what do? They will call the leader, this is dictator, this is undemocratic. You name it, so many things. They say. Now, the other reason why I argue that security, I'm not saying that don't have election, but how this system is sinisterically used against Africa. That's what I wanted to show you. So security is more important than election, is that because Africa needs to put back the authority of the states that has been weakened by the weak leaders who are puffed by imperialism, who are sold out or totally lost to imperialism just to make themselves and their families and maybe their relatives rich. That's how selfish they are. While millions of their people starve and are displaced, deprived of basic needs. And even when they die, they still don't care as long as they serve, their belly is full and their families are rich and they have their dollars in the banks in the West, in Geneva, and you name it, then they don't care. So first and foremost, the priority of, I think, an African state should be to have security. When you have security, you can negotiate on a same table, putting your own terms. But if you don't have security, then not only it's literally insecurity wise, you are undermining the sovereignty of the state, but also economically, politically we will be undermining of the states. So we have to have a security that puts back the authority of the state and make it functional to the people. Now, we all remember the very reason why the Organization of African Unity by our forefathers in the 1963 was established in Addis Ababa. The main reason at that time was to get independence from colonialism, in which they achieved. I mean, prior really have that building and office in the capital city of Ethiopia. They have been working towards this. So in the 1960s, already most of the African countries have had their independence. But that was not for long. That was not for long. When they have seen those liberators who have led to the independence of the country, what did they do? They immediately make sure that they have taken them, some of them assassinated or removed by coup. I mean, this and that. This is not really something to be forgotten. We can mention Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, and to be Kwame Nkrumah, and a very recent one, Samora Machel of Mozambique, and many, many others. I'm just mentioning a few. All these are taken away by a coup, a silent coup, where they bring and they use who they use. It wasn't the colonizer directly who removed those freedom fighters and leaders who eventually became leaders of their nation. Actually, they used our own people, African people, to remove them. And what did they do? They become an Olympia of Togo. They became the leader again of that country. So from that 90s, it's soon after independence, they started already to take away those leaders who have been against imperialism, against colonialism, who have been fighting in the forefront, and then make sure that they have removed them using our own African people. So that is, of course, very unfortunate. But from my point is, starting since that time, they have made sure that they have in place those puppets who are working only for the interest of the imperialists, who doesn't care about the nation. And what they do, they make, they label you a country as you need aid, you need loan, you need this and that you're poor. But practically speaking, who is poor? Where is the natural resource? Who is depending on who? I mean, literally speaking. Yeah, sometimes we need to start to look, to ourselves, within ourselves, the power we have, the resource that we have, and, to check the narratives. So this is why I argue that what Ibrahim Traore said, security should be more important in terms of restoring the authority of the African state back to its place in a way that it works for the people of the African people. I mean, with that, I would like to end here, my argument, and with regards to what happened in Burkina Faso this week, and especially all this is inspired by Ibrahim Traore's speech last night, where he said security is a priority, not election. So I ask you, what do you think about this? So please let us know in the comment section regarding what he said. So again, I repeat it, security is a priority, not election. If you agree with it, how so then? Can you go ahead and reason it out? Do you think Africa needs election? how do you view the concept of election and democracy in general in Africa? Please let us know in the comment section, so it will help us for us to dig more and bring you more analysis on the topic. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you, your inputs here, your comments, your questions, your suggestions. We value it. We don't take it for granted. We really value it. We value each and every comment and idea you bring here. That's why we liked also to engage with you. So thank you very much. I think I took already 25 minutes. Yeah, but I'll try to give a shout out here. So hello, hi Mikey, Sigol, Wide, Armo, hello, welcome. Some Kenya following progress leaders. Who is progressive leaders? No gold mines in France, but there are 4,000 plus tons. Exactly. Imhotep, hello, Imhotep, welcome. Kushite Revenge, hello. Reina Black, how are you? Hello. Who do we have? The Firefox 8192. Hi, welcome. Elections install colonialism and exactly. It's just a continuation. It's just another name to make sure that exploitation continues. But again, I'm not saying election shouldn't be there, but the way it worked so far doesn't seem working for Africa. And I'm not neither encouraging coup d'etat, but of course, when you are left with no option and dictators are there looting and exploiting the people, then what do you do? So there are good coup d'etats, that I believe, and I say it out loud. Yeah, so Common Man 80, hello, Robert Karagbo, hello everyone, Black Nubian, J Tapat, Democracy hasn't worked for Africa. Exactly, you call it exactly what it is, democracy. Thank you, Common Man, for your gift and donation. Thank you, yeah, for your support. Osie, hello, Osie. It has been a while. Nigeria had an election which is disputed and is in the court. I am seeing that. The man is really, and another embarrassment we see how he was banned from flying over Niger's airspace. I'm gonna come back on that one. I will bring you here. Private, say hello, shalom. Leo Benzan, hi, hello, welcome. All of you, really, thank you very much. Corey, Hannah, Semha, all of you. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you very much. I will see you on the next one. Please go ahead and give us your view in the comment section, what you think of the questions that I asked. I repeat it again. What do you think of, in general, his statement saying election is not a priority, but security is? He spoke, of course, on behalf of Burkina Faso situation, but I ask you in general, in the situation of Africa. And then, do you think Africa needs election? Why? How do you view the concept of election and democracy in Africa? I think so far countries who are really who are anti-imperialist and independent in Africa are, so far it was only Eritrea. Now these Western African countries have joined Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. We will see Niger until the end what happens. But so far it seems, because we still have the American troops, the US troops there. Please don't forget to comment in the comment section. Ciao for now. Bye. Have a good evening.